I'm Yohay, and I'm an early adopter of everything. And it does wonders to my productivity. I've already built so many useful applications with AI without writing one single line of code. And personally, I get relationship advice from Chatty, that's how I call him. And AI now is so good that I don't need anybody. Okay, actually I do. I'm still a human being, and like all of you, like all of us, we crave connections. And the thing is, this breakneck pace that AI is developing can break down human touch, and it's happening faster than we realize. And we need these human touch points in life and in the world of work. So there's a research published by Sage Journals which shows that even the smallest human interactions, touch points with a barista, with a distant colleague, they can increase our sense of belonging by 17%. So if these friendships can do so much, think about the more meaningful connections. Think about much closer ones. They're good for our mental well-being, and apparently they're also good for productivity. And other things. The sense of belonging lifts productivity by 56%, slashes risk turnover at work by 50%, and cuts down sick days by 75%. That's a big deal. It's a study published in Deloitte, Australia. So I think we should invest in these human touch points. And I see it as infrastructure. What is infrastructure? Why am I using this kind of word? Infrastructure, when it's there, it just works. It's almost unnoticeable. But if it's not maintained, well, this doesn't work. Oh, well, I clicked too many buttons, sorry. Anyway, the infrastructure crumbles. And why is human connection decaying? At least we're seeing it, we were talking about it. One reason is the pandemic. Since then, we have lots more work from home. Okay. And that means fewer touch points, and it's here to stay. It's not going to change. The other reason is newer and much faster. That's AI. AI enables us individuals to do lots more, and it's already reshaping the workplace. Let me give you a few examples. So the chief product officer at LinkedIn said that now they have a new role at the company called full stack builders, FSBs. So each FSB can do the work of an entire team. Empowerment as well. Meta's Mark Zuckerberg said that the North Star now is that individuals can have massive contribution. And get this, there are even job postings for team leaders who lead a team of AI agents. So I'm a leader, but, well, nobody behind me. And that's, of course, we get a wealth of productivity here. But on the flip side, we get that on the human level. And on the personal level, yeah, we have AI companions now. And they're there 24/7, always supportive, very supportive, a bit weird. They're never going to be like a friend who really knows us. And sure, I mean, I'm all in for productivity, and empowering individuals is also especially good for introverts who can express themselves much more. But individualism, if it goes maybe a bit too far, we lose human touch points, we lose trust, we lose the sense of belonging, and we become more lonely. So there's a risk that AI turns us into high-performing strangers. But not all is lost. AI is a technology, okay, a big technology, but it's still technology. Technologies are force multipliers. We can turn things around. We can use AI to build infrastructure and make things better, human connection infrastructure. And I see it by using two infrastructure pillars that have been with humanity for quite some time. Outreach and interdependency. Let's start with outreach. Meet Mario. Mario and I worked together, and after he left, I even traveled to visit him in Slovakia, his own home country, and we had a good time. But after that, yeah, you know, life, we got busy and it sort of faded away. But then I got a nudge. Ask Mario about his band. You see, Mario plays heavy metal. Yeah, one of those guys who revels in his long hair. Not exactly my case. And he plays, and so I asked him, how's it going with your music? And that triggered a conversation, and it rekindled our relationship, and it feels great. But and that's one thing I'm doing with TouchBase, sending people reminders to stay in touch and giving them conversation starters generated by AI. But why is it necessary? Well, before I reached out to Mario, I felt, what will I tell him? It's a bit weird, and it's a broader phenomenon. We're sometimes afraid of how the other person will react. What will they say out of the blue? Well, we're wrong. We tend to underestimate the positive impact of this outreach by 15 to 20%, according to a study published in the American Psychological Association. And it's in this outreach, there's another advantage, at least when we're in society. If I reach out to somebody, that behavior can be modeled. We can create a habit. It can go viral and have a lasting effect beyond that one-on-one connection. Let's move to the other pillar, interdependency. I think that at least here in Barcelona, there is no better visualization of interdependency than the Catalan Castellers. These are human towers, and for that little child to reach the very top, the entire human tower needs to hold. These people need to trust each other. They need to feel they belong, and they need to depend on each other. Basically, the more they depend on each other, the more they can achieve. My sport isn't Castellers. I'm a runner, and when I trained for the Barcelona Marathon, I discovered that David, a good friend of mine, runs more or less the same pace. We began training together, pushing each other forward, and eventually ran the actual marathon together, finishing holding hands, and also we were amazed by how fast we ran. What about interdependency in the world of work? Well, imagine that AI could detect when there's a slump in interdependency, a slump in communication. It could alert us on time to save a project from failing, to prevent somebody from leaving. Well, if that person wants to leave, of course, they should be able to do so, but you know, having these connections tied up. And basically, the data is already there. Slack messages and communication patterns, identifying who's gone quiet. AI can hear the silence before it's too late. And yeah, we're building AI, and I at least have FOMO, fear of missing out. And I think it's also our responsibility as professionals. We should stay up to speed with everything that's going on, right? And if we're already building new shiny AI tools, I think as students, as big bosses, as founders, we should think about incorporating these pillars of outreach, interdependency, or any kind of human connection, so that this is also taken care of. And there are bridges there between people. And bridges are also, we can look at every person at the company as, we sometimes see that as a bridge to the next one. The workplace is super dynamic. But if that bridge is well maintained, if there are nice people there, if there are good connections, there is a higher chance we stay there for longer, have a better time, more productive, even recommend it to our friends. And again, we are as humans evolving a bit slower than the technology, which is moving fast. This is David, and I think that perhaps if I run alone, perhaps I can run faster. But when I run with somebody, I go further. And I think this is super important to remember this human thing. And sure, I use AI all the time, and I also have the same confession. I also used AI to help me prepare for this talk. Guilty as charged. But I still try to be intentional in showing up for family, friends, colleagues, and attending in-person events like these. And I think that's the idea, that co-intelligence is at its best when the human part remains fully human. Thank you very much.